Hi everyone. Today we're going to go ahead and take a look at how to color your characters in Adobe Animate. So I'm going to start off with, at the bottom of the screen, you're going to see a black and red square that says AN on it. That's Adobe Animate. You'll go ahead and click on that and open that one up. When it opens, we're going to go ahead and choose the file type we're going to use. So for right now, I'm not going to be worried about any of the other presets that are above here. I'm just going to say create new, and that'll give us the simplest of formats. So I'm going to go ahead and just also with a preset, I'm going to stick with standard and just say create. Now with this open, we've got several things are happening here. On the left hand side, we certainly have tools and equipment and things that are set up for Adobe Animate. On the left hand side, we certainly have our color picker. We have our alignment tool, scenes. Across the top, we have what we call our timeline, where the artwork goes in and the animation happens along the keyframes. We have layers, where you build the layers one on top of the other, say, put a background and then a character and then something in the foreground. So those are your layers where you build up your stacking. These are your basic tools right here for your color, for your picking, selecting, painting, drawing, erasing, color sampling, all going to be right here. And on the right side are all of the tools that we use to refine the tools right above us in the main line. So let's go ahead and get ourselves started here. It automatically opens up with layer 1 with one keyframe, and that's really all we need for just this one image that we're going to bring in. So to bring our image into what we call the stage, and that's what we call the white area here, I'm going to go ahead and File, Import, Import to Stage. Again, File, Import, Import to Stage. It'll open up a folder. I can select Desktop, etc. In this case, I've got an image here from one of your classmates here, a nice zombie image. Now, the first thing is that if I want to color it, I have to basically convert it into an image that Adobe Animate can see and recognize. So to do that, first, a couple of things, a couple of shortcuts for you. Number one, to zoom in and zoom out, Control plus, Control minus. So Control plus or minus, that'll zoom you in and out. Okay. If you want to move quickly left or right around the keyboard, hold the space bar and then left click, and you can very quickly drag something and go left or right. Kind of a quick couple of shortcuts there. So I'm going to go ahead and Command minus to zoom out. Now I need to shrink this down to fit the stage, which again is that smaller black rectangle inside. So I'm going to go ahead and use this tool right here, which is my free transform tool. I select it once and notice I get those little black dots around there, or squares. I'm going to hold the shift key to lock proportion, and I'm going to shift and left click. Shift and left click to drag it in. Now we're inside and I've got it about the size. And I'm looking to make sure that the artwork, not the paper, is nice and large on the artboard, on the stage. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and Command plus, zoom in, and there we have our character in there. Now I need to convert this character, and to do that I need to convert it into a bitmap image. So what I'm going to do with it selected right now, I'm going to go to Modify, Bitmap, Trace Bitmap. Okay, Modify, Bitmap, Trace Bitmap. In doing so, and it comes up with a pop-up window. Now, generally for this pop-up window, these generally are set, like minimum area is sometimes set at 8, and color threshold is set at 200. Personally, I like mine set a little bit lower. It gives me for a little tighter image. So I would change your color threshold down to 100, your minimum area pixels down to number 2, and under corner threshold, change that into many corners. Okay, and curve fit, change that down to very tight if you need to. Okay, so with these presets, go ahead and click OK. Now you'll notice that after I clicked it, that my whole image that I brought in has become pixelated. Well, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and be able to select certain areas of that pixelation. And the pixelation is divided by the black ink work that it sees. So if I click on the white arrow here, and I click off to the side, everything becomes deselected. But if I use that arrow selected, and I select anywhere around the character, that's the first thing I want to do. Select around the character. Notice that area becomes pixelated, not the inside. So now I'm going to hit the delete key. Done. It's erased. Now I go below the character. There's the part I brought in. Erase there too. Now I need to get rid of this line because it's kind of at a diagonal here. So we want to get rid of that. On my tools, I have this right here is my eraser tool. You'll note that when I click on, I stop at my tool there, it actually says what it is. So if you used Photoshop before or some other program, you know, pretty much you get an idea of how this works. All right, so I'm clicking on there and I'm just kind of erasing a little bit. Just kind of getting that down, getting the other part here erased. There we go. Just kind of clean that up a little bit. There we go. Now I've got him cleaned up. Now I need to go in as one more area I need to get and clean out. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit and show you. It's the space inside between the arms. It's those little negative spaces. If I click in here, move the black arrow, and hit delete. Hit in here, and delete. And then right here between the feet, and delete. So now that character is all cut out. We have just our character themselves. Now to color it, it's really fairly simple. Now that we've done this, I basically have to go right here. This is my paint bucket and my fill and my stroke. So if I select my fill, and let's say I want a nice green for that skin. Well, I can select a green. But maybe I want to go kind of a paler green. So I select this little guy up here, or I can go up to the color picker up here and pick up maybe a bluish green, something kind of nasty looking here. A little bit lighter on there. There we go. That's a nice green on there. And then I use my paint bucket and I drop the color in. That's it. That simple for coloring a character. Really that simple. So now I'm going to go back in now and let's say select the coat. Oh, maybe a dirty kind of a brownish color. Just click inside there. That's it. Just click, clickety click, and that's it. Now if I wanted to darken it for shadows, like inside here, just basically go back up into here. I can go back into this and select here. Go to my greens, go to my darker colors there. Right, my blues and darker colors. Now, there we go. There's my H. There we go. I get another darker green, greenish gray there. There we go. There's something nice and dark. And I'm going to just, my eyedropper tool, just boom, click that color and put that right into those little areas that are inside there. That's the shadow color I want. Maybe a little tiny one in here. So next then, I'll go back in and I am going to go ahead and select that pant color. But actually I've got a little bit of that right here that I've forgotten about, a little bit of that torn fabric. If I select my eyedropper and select this color, I go back to that color and I can go ahead and redrop that color in. There you go. Let's go and check those pants out now. Maybe a dirty green. There we go. Nice dirty green. And let's drop. There we go. Got some color in there. It's kind of nice. I'll go a little bit lighter with that. Yeah, make it more of a kind of a military khaki kind of look. There we go. Now, if I just get these little tiny areas. Now, this student, because they were back in and they had all these little shadow lines they put inside all the shading, you have to zoom in to be able to get the tip of that arrow to go in and color those spots. Okay, you notice I have to zoom in and I have to get those color, oops, Command Z, and to get those little tiny areas in there. So I just Command in, zoom in. And remember, if you make a mistake, don't panic. Just keep that left hand on the keyboard. Be ready to hit Command Z at a moment's notice to be able to go in and select those areas and darken them up. Okay, so notice I got a bunch in there. Now he's got his legs here. Let's go ahead and I'm going to Command minus out. And let's put some of that nice nasty green on from his face there onto that ankle. Let's go ahead and drop that in there. So eyedropper, paint bucket, drop the color in. Let's go a nice, maybe a dirty color for that brown for those red, reddish orange. There we go. That's a nice dark brown. Let's do that for the sock. So I selected the color, paint bucket, go on down and drop that color in. There we go. That simple. So now I've pretty much got my character here. Let's go back in. Maybe I'll put some of that brown. I'm going to zoom in here and put some of that up here. So let's see. What should I do with that green right there? And I've got this. Well, let's go ahead and put that on the brown on there. And then let's go up here, make it a slightly lighter brown. Put it on the top of the stick, right? This color right here, I'm not quite sure how to handle that. Let's maybe think of it as probably maybe the cuff on the shirt. So I'm going to sample that shadow color that I've got right there. So I'm going to, my eyedropper, sample it, go back to my paint bucket and drop that color in. That looks pretty good. Got that darker color in there, a few more of those little areas to get. I think I'm looking pretty good here. But now we have sort of the eyes and the face to take care of. Well, the eyes, let's go ahead and throw some red in there. So I have my eyedropper, my paint bucket, and red. We got some nasty looking gums there. So I'm going to go ahead and let's call those kind of a darker color. Drop that in there. And the teeth, well, the teeth, we're trying to look at kind of something yellowish, I think. But yellowish, kind of gray yellow. Yeah, something really nice and nasty looking there, kind of rotted away. So let's go ahead and I'll drop those colors in. There we go. And the shirt color, well, maybe he had a he had a light blue shirt on that day. Let's go ahead and call it a light blue shirt, but it's going to be kind of dirtier, kind of faded out. He's been walking around as a zombie quite a while. So we'll drop that color in. Look how fast that color just dropped right in there. Now we certainly need to go ahead and do the last part, which is going to be the hair. The hair itself is going to be the last part of that. So I'm going to go ahead and let me drop in a little bit more of this color in and around here. There we go, kind of like his, we're seeing little holes through his hair, and we're seeing the color of his coat in front of that, right? So we're seeing little bits of that here and there, okay? All right, so now let's go ahead and change that hair color, but let's go ahead and maybe let's change that up a little bit, a little brighter color, maybe into the yellows here. Brown, green, what do we want to do with those colors? See if we keep playing with our color. Purplish, purplish is kind of fun. There we go, it's kind of a brownish color. That's kind of nice, kind of a dirty brown. So we'll take that head dropper and we'll start dropping that color in. And again, to get really close in there, certainly you have to, again, zoom in fairly close if you want to get those really, really tight little spots here. Okay, so again, we're going to be doing the coloring on this. Fairly simple, fairly easy. But if you have really good, nice, crisp line work, and that's where, you know, again, that's the difference between using the a gray graphite pencil, because a gray graphite pencil leaves those little gray tone areas or reflected areas. And that's where you see like where the color is not quite filling all the way around an object. That's because that was those middle value grays that the when it was brought into the program, it couldn't quite cut out, because those grays were so reflective. And so we've got those sort of dark colors there. I think I'm going to go back into there on that. Maybe throw a little bit more here, there, here, there. So there we go. So we've got quite a bit of the hair colored up here on our character. So if we go through here, there we go. So again, one more area here I want to check on is that I noticed that I forgot to erase this little area right here. We've got some yellow there. So I'm going to eyedropper that and my paint bucket and drop that color in. But this is an open spot, so I want to go and use my white, my ruler, my arrow, select that, it's pixelated, and delete, just to delete that. Pretty cool. Now if I zoom myself back out again, yep, I got myself a rather nappy looking zombie. So there you go. That is coloring your zombie. Now, to get it ready for its production, you'll use the white arrow and click and drag a box around it. And you see how it's still pixelated? We want to lock that image together so it doesn't come apart. So I'm going to hit Control or Command, if you're using a Mac, a G. And that puts a box around it, and that locks it. So now when I select it, it has that blue box. It's a locked image, and I can put that guy just about anywhere, and I am good to go. See, look at that. He's styling, ready for his day on the town. What a silent zombie dude. So let's see here. I think I'll rotate him just a little bit, straighten him out. There we go. So this is what you're going to be working on. I'm going to let you guys go ahead, and you guys are going to go ahead and work on coloring and inking in your character. All right, that was the homework drawing, okay, for your zombie. So that'll be your first practice working with Adobe Animate. As you can see, it works pretty clean. It's pretty simple to use. The main thing is you've got to make sure to have good, clean inking, no gaps or spaces between the inking areas. Otherwise, the gaps will not fill. And that's it.